this video, I want to talk about a case that I just had with one of my PTBI students about scaling lead generation channels. Now, this came from a conversation that I was having with a one-on-one student who we were enrolling into our new one-on-one program. They were talking about how stressed out they felt about lead generation because they were getting all of their leads through Instagram, and though they couldn't even keep up with the leads that they were having on Instagram, meaning that they couldn't keep up with the DM outreach. They didn't have enough time for the DM outreach. However, they said, well, I can't get to the next level because I don't have an email list and I don't have a Facebook group and I'm not active on YouTube. And I said, hold on just a second. Before we even talk about any of these other lead generation sources, we haven't even outsourced and mastered the one lead generation source that you have right in front of you. And we haven't even gone deep enough on that lead generation source for even to think about diversifying. And I think that this is a huge mistake that coaches make when it comes to scaling their coaching business, is that they think they need to do more of other things without yet just doing more of the thing that's working. And this is actually a huge challenge that held me back from scaling so many years ago. I always thought that I needed to have multiple lead generation channels in order for me to build a successful six-figure business, when in reality, I just needed to have one consistent, guaranteed lead generation channel, increase the volume on the process that's working. And so I'll give you an example of how we are going to do this for my client, and I'll also give you an example of how this worked out for me in my business as well. For my client, she was saying, hey, I have leads coming in through Instagram. I'm doing DM outreach. However, I don't really have the time to scale it, but I also want to build like these Facebook groups and an email list. And I said, if you don't even have the time to scale and fully do DM outreach, then you're only going to be diversified even more and have less time doing all these other lead generation sources, like starting a Facebook group or doing an email list. And the time it takes to start up those other lead generation channels is going to take away from the channel that's already working, meaning that your lead flow is actually going to stop. And then you're going to start focusing on a lead flow that hasn't yet been proven to work and isn't yet working already. And so your leads are completely going to dry up as you make that transition process. When instead, what you should do is go deeper on the lead generation source that's actually working and actually producing your clients, and increase the volume on that lead gen source. And so, for example, in this case, I said, if you don't have the time to fully invest into doing this process that's already working full time, then what you need to do is hire an employee or hire an assistant to be able to take over that process for you and increase the volume on the process that's already working. Because why would you take the time that you're spending on something that's working to go build out something that isn't yet working and isn't guaranteed to get you results, when we can just take that in time that's already working and increase the amount of time doing the thing that's already working. And then once you have someone taking over that task, you can then move your time over to building the next lead generation source. That's what we did for her. It's been working really fantastic. And how this worked for me is it was the same exact process. We had a really good lead generation source on Instagram. We're getting all of our leads every single day coming through Instagram. And I thought, I need to go build a Facebook group, or I need to build an email list, or I need to build, a VSL, going to all these different traffic sources that I had no business or no experience on, when I knew Instagram was a thing that was working extremely well for us. And I lost a ton of money. I spent about $100,000 on Facebook ads to these different lead generation channels that simply did not produce an ROI. And once I hired my new mentor, he said, why would you go do all these different things that aren't working for you when you have something right in front of you that's producing results? And then the light bulb in my head went off. In order to scale, you don't need to do more of everything. You need to do more of what's working. And then we started producing Instagram ads, and that has radically transformed our business because it's just bringing more traffic to the traffic source that we've already mastered, which is Instagram lead generation. That was a huge learning lesson for myself that I'm now passing down to my coaches, that I'm now passing down to you. When you have a good lead generation process online, do not try to add in a ton of different lead generation channels. Just go deeper on the one that's working and scale that one up because it's already producing results. Hopefully you guys found value with that. If you guys are interested in starting a coaching business, hit me up on Instagram at ZAKKCOLBURN, and we can talk about what that looks like. We run a program for personal trainers to help them start the coaching business. It's called Personal Trainers Business Incubator. You guys can check the links down below to see all of the free resources that we provide for you. With that being said, guys, I hope you got value out of this one. Peace.